Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I'm bringing you guys awesome interviews. And today it is an honor and privilege to have Mr. Steve Lynch on the phone. He's the lead guitarist and vocalist of Autograph, and they have a new album that's ready to come out October 6th, 2 days before my birthday, called Get Off
There you go.
It's my
We'll have to
birthday
get you a
gift.
copy for your birthday.
There you go. They did this specifically for me. No, just kidding.
That's right.
The album's called Get Off Your Ass. And that's exactly
There you
right,
go.
folks. Get off your asses and get out there. So we're going to talk to him about that. So, Steve, how's it going?
It's going very good. How about you, John?
Doing awesome. I'm doing really good. So let's talk about this. What's impressed you the most about making this new album, Get Off Your Ass? What's caught your eye about, if anything, man?
Basically, we were just going in a new direction. From the old direction of Autograph, it was with keyboards and a little bit of a lighter, more, melodic metal pop sound. And now we've got a heavier sound. We're tuned down a whole step, so it's a lot thicker sounding and without keyboards. So it's more guitar oriented. And it's just, the songs are a little bit more aggressive, and I think everybody's going to like it a lot. But you still got those melodic choruses in there and everything that everybody loved about the old Autograph.
Who produced this new album for you guys?
We actually produced it ourselves.
Okay. So you guys, do you like this side, man, of doing it yourself and not having to have the producer? I know you guys have been in the game for a very, very long time, but do you like
Well,
this?
that's just it, is that, we have been, doing this for decades now. And so working without a producer, it's not a big deal. The four of us have got so much studio work, and so much time working with other bands and other musicians and everything that we thought we can self-produce this, no problem, because all of us have more experience probably than a lot of producers out there, actually.
Do you think, Steve, man, that most of these bands are going to go that route of do it yourself instead of having to have a producer?
I think that a lot of them have been already, and it's going to continue to be that way because, producers are a little bit scarce. I mean, there are some producers that I'd like to work with yet, and I plan to do so in the future. But it's like, as far as the budget goes, because the big record companies, they're not putting anything into it. I mean, as far as budget wise,
Sure.
they're just not. They don't have that kind of a budget anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of looking at it like, well, there's no budget there, so we can't afford to pay a producer, a big chunk of money up front and everything, because they rely on album sales to pay that, to recoup that and everything. So it's a little bit of a tricky game that you have to play.
That's true. That's very, very true. And some of these folks, man, if you produce it yourself and do it on a computer like that, some of these, I don't know what you call them, these inputs that you got to buy for them, they're just as much as a guitar. I mean, it's crazy.
Yes.
On what you have to pay for.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's the knowledge that you have to work with some of these, some of the technology, the recording technology these days. It's incredible. I mean, you got to spend a lot of years on this to really get them down. And luckily, our drummer, he produces bands. I mean, so basically, and he's worked with, mastering records and all that kind of stuff. And he has a studio in his home. That's where we did everything. It was a studio at his home. And then I worked with another friend of mine, Chad McMurray, up in Seattle. When I was up there, we did some recording up there as well. But he's also produced, bands for years and years, and has the same kind of experience that our drummer does. So that helped. So basically, we kind of did work with a couple of different producers. It was just people that were involved with us directly rather than hiring somebody from the outside.
Steve, are there any songs off Get Off Your Ass album that stand out more to you than any other? I know it's like your babies, but is there any that stick out more?
Yeah, I mean, of course, Get Off Your Ass. I mean, because that's the title track. But You Are Us, We Are You. I really, really like that one a lot. I like the song All I Own, and probably I Lost My Mind in America.
Yeah.
But those are the ones that. One of my favorites is Every Generation. That's definitely one of my favorites too. So I'd say probably You're Us, We Are You, Every Generation, and Get Off Your Ass are my three favorites on the album.
How much growth musically, and I know you guys have been around for a while, have you seen yourself and this band go through up to the release of this new album?
Well, it's got a couple new members in it, so they added, a fresh new flavor and a different outlook and different input as well. So I would say that, as far as, going through the different decades and everything, this is a little bit more of a modern edge to it. This lineup has, it's just, it's one of those things where everybody's matured a little bit more. So I think that songwriting has matured as well. And that's one thing that you just kind of go through. It's more of a metamorphosis, you know, as far as songwriting and everything goes.
Sure. And I know you guys have added new vocalist or new guitarist, rhythm guitarist and vocalist.
Well, he's the vocalist, lead vocalist, rhythm guitarist. I'm lead guitarist and background vocalist is what I am. Yeah.
Right, Simon Daniels. I mean, he came over from Jailhouse.
Yep.
What's he added to
exactly.
to Autograph?
He's added a definitely new sound as far as the vocals go. And when we do play the old songs, he does a kick-ass job on the old Steve Lynch, you know, stuff that he used to sing.
Mm-hmm.
And but he has more. Simon has more of a bluesy type bass voice, so it's a bit different than Steve Plunkett's. But it works really well with the band.
Do you guys do anything differently during the writing and recording process to keep your minds open and fresh, to stay focused on creating the style of music that you do? I mean, and not to stay, you know, not to go stale or anything like that?
Well, we're all constantly writing, and I think that's what really helps, is that we all and we listen to different genres of music. We don't just listen to rock music and kind of get stuck in that mode. What I listen to some more progressive type stuff. I listen to classical music and just a variety of stuff. Some, you know, really etheric kind of, you know, bands that nobody's really heard of that much, like Porcupine Tree and Massive Attack and Delirium, Bellamino and stuff like that. Just different types of bands that not many people have heard about in the States, but they're very popular in Europe. That helps to listen to different genres like that. I think that really helps with the writing because it gives you a different outlook.
What do you hope the fans take away from the new album, Get Off Your Ass, once they start to listen to it, or just Autograph's music in general, man?
I think that they just love the way it rocks. They'll love the grooves in it. They'll love the vocals. They'll love the words, you know, and I think they'll like everything about it, especially, you know, just the energy of the album itself. That's gonna be its main selling point, is the energy that we have on the album.
What can fans expect at a show from Autograph when they come out to see you guys who have not got to see you guys live as of yet?
Oh yeah, it's high energy from beginning to end, very high energy. So we're definitely not old rockers up there. We have that youth appeal when we get on stage.
Now, we talked about this just a little bit, but we're in a digital era of recording albums and social media. Do you think this helps a lot of bands, especially older bands too? Or do you like this era that we're in?
It has its pluses and its minuses. You know, it's good points and its bad points. The one thing that you don't have is, you know, the publicity push that you would have from like a label like we were on back in the 80s, which was RCA. You know, they put a lot of push into us. They had a big budget, you know, but we don't have that anymore. But we do have social media now, so we can promote it ourselves without really having much of a budget at all. So that portion of it does help. But I would like to see it where the record companies did have, you know, a big budget to really push the band, because that really does help, because they have a whole staff of people that went into different avenues of media back then and really push it, especially with magazines and everything. It was a big thing. So it really did help. And they really pushed the radio stations to play your songs and everything. Nowadays you don't have that. And that's one thing that's missing, is you don't have like the team leadership in a record company that actually you know, can really push your songs on radio. That's the big thing that's missing.
Exactly. I miss the days where you had to go to your grocery store or a drugstore and get like a Hit Parader or Circus Magazine.
Right. Exactly.
You know,
and that's where most of the promotion came from, was those magazines like Circus. Remember Circus and Hit Parader and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's where most of the promotion was. And you know, back in that time era, you know, that's what people bought. It was those magazines did incredible back then, because they were sold out as soon as the stores got them in back then. You probably remember that very well yourself.
I do. Yeah, and now the only thing we really got is Metal Hammer, and I think that went out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they did, actually. So there really isn't any really hard copy magazines. Everything's on the internet now. Mm-hmm. You know, it's all linked with social media.
You guys hooked up with two guys I really like in this music industry, is Tom Hazard and David Ellefson of Megadeth.
Oh yeah. Yep, absolutely. Great people, and we're glad to be with the EMP Label Group. It's just, they're fantastic people, and we're really excited about the whole thing. They've got a big push behind us and everything, so they're acting like that that old record company used to act like. They're really putting a lot of push into their artists, and I'm very fortunate that we're with them.
And I think you should. If you're going to be an owner of a record label, that's your product you're putting out there. Those are your people. You have to take care of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's where they stood out to us as a band more than a lot of the other labels that we were considering.
For sure.
Was the fact that they really seemed to be excited about it. They really wanted to put a push into it, whereas the other labels, they treated their bands like a lot of ones that handle the newer bands and the bands that are, you know, researching from the 80s again. They just kind of do the album, they put it out there, and they just see what happens. They don't put a big push behind it, and that's not what we wanted. We're a new band. We're a new force out there. We're like a phoenix, you know. We're from the ashes, you know, of the old band, but we're new. So, you know, as far as that goes, we wanted that kind of a label behind us to put that kind of a push.
So support-wise, is there a country or region that stands out more or surprises you that you get support from that area?
Japan, I didn't know, like the first deal that we signed was with King Record in Japan. That's coming out August 23rd. And then, you know, like you said, October 6th will be the U.S. and Canadian release. And then I think in November we're releasing with SPV Records in Europe as well. So that's still a deal that's being put together. But the people at EMP are putting that together for us as well. So, but I was kind of surprised when we played London and Germany just this last March, how great of a reception we got there. It's like, because of the fact that Autograph never played in Europe or Japan back in the 80s, RCA just didn't want to put up the money for us to go there. But we went there and played this last year, and we played the first year that we got together. We played in 2014 right. At Nottingham at the festival there, England, and it just went over really, really well. And so I'm really surprised that, you know, like in the UK and in Germany, that they really picked us up on us really quick. And I guess that we're still really in big demand over in Japan because we haven't played there yet. So that'll be exciting to go over there and play.
That's like I always say, Germans really do love David Hasselhoff.
That's true.
And I don't mean to make fun of that. It's just, it's crazy to wrap your mind around. It's like, really?
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's like a big singing star over there. Nobody knew about that. You know?
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of the shows and moments, are there any that stand out more to you than any that you can recall being part of Autograph, being on stage going, holy hell, I can't believe all this is going on right now?
Yeah, it's really like caught fire. It's really, everything's happening very, very fast. And you know what, me and Randy, the original bass player, are the original guys on it, just me and Randy. So we're looking at it like, wow, we never thought this would be happening again at this time in our lives, but we're glad it is. And we're just having the time of our lives with it. So it's just fantastic playing these festivals and everything, and these county fairs and everything, state fairs, and it's just a great thing that's happening.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said that's what I want to do right there?
Well, my sister back in 1964 got the Meet the Beatles album, and she brought it home, and she invited all her friends over, all of her cute girlfriends, and she started playing it. And her girlfriends just went crazy. And I thought, I was 9 years old, and I thought, that's what I want to do. So that was it. It was all about the girls in the beginning. And then I started actually getting into music and, learning to play guitar and everything. And then I just fell in love with actually just playing guitar and just being a musician, and just creating and everything. Then the maturity kicked in, and I realized why I really wanted to do it.
If you could work with any musician, dead or alive, or any band that's broken up that you'd like to bring back to work with for a couple of days, who would it be, man?
Probably David Bowie. Yeah. I've always liked the way he creates and the way he does things so differently. And I'd probably like to work with him just to write something really, really unique and something that hasn't been quite heard of before. And he seems to have that kind of ingenuity to be able to be creative on that level. And I would love to work with him because I have a lot of stuff that doesn't fit into the genre, of course, that Autograph does. And I like to experiment and go out there on a limb. And I think that he would be a really cool person to work with.
I think more bands should do that. Even if you're a young band and just starting out, go out on a limb. I mean, if it don't bite, it don't bite. I mean, there you can say, well, that didn't do it. We'll just go away from that and try something else.
Right, and that's what I tell my students, because I'm still teaching guitar as well, a couple days a week down here in Florida, down in the Tampa area. What I tell them is I say, hey, don't follow anybody. You can be inspired by a couple of musicians, but don't follow any band out there, and don't try to be like them, because there already is one of them.
Exactly.
Be creative, do whatever you want, and be as unique as you can be. If you want to do a song that's so far out there nobody can even understand it, that's okay, do it, because you know what? People are going to be curious about it, because you're going to be unique, you're going to be original, and you're going to stand out because of that. And that's what's going to get you noticed. It's going to get you noticed by the people that start following you, and it's going to get you noticed by the different record labels.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the way it is. It's always somebody that breaks those boundaries, and goes out there on a limb that gets noticed every single time. It's always those type of people, the really creative ones and the really unique ones.
Yeah, I love Zakk Wylde. I love his music, his guitar playing. Yep. You can go away and turn your back at a festival, and you know it's him playing his guitar. You know it's him. But
absolutely.
But yes. As a musician, I wouldn't want to sound like him.
Right. You don't want to sound like somebody there already is a Zakk Wylde.
Right.
There
exactly.
already is. There was already a Randy Rhoads, there was already an Eddie Van Halen, there's already an Yngwie Malmsteen. Why do you want to sound like somebody that's already there? I try to get my students to, I say, create a sound of your own. And you don't have to be blazing fast. Sure, you want to build up your speed and your technique and everything, but really look for your own unique sound. Because there's these kids that are sitting in their bedrooms that can play faster than you can even imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And they will never be able to play out live or really get the attention they deserve, because they're not being unique, and they're not writing. They're spending all their time just being as fast and articulate that they can on guitar, and they're not thinking about writing. Think about your chord work, thinking about creating something that people can really listen to and people can identify with, rather than just, blazing fast guitar, because that bores most people. I mean, to be honest with you, it just bores me as well.
Mm-hmm. And I see it, I see a lot of this stuff. I do when I do radio stuff. I see it a lot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You see all of it, yeah.
Yeah. To this day, man, what's it mean to you when you guys receive an email from a fan, or prior to the shows or after the shows, they tell you that Autograph's music has pulled them through a bad experience, or it's gave them inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's just let them get away with the everyday bullshit that we all go through? What's that mean to you guys?
Right. I love that. I love hearing those stories. I love hearing the fact that we were a part of their lives that did help them get through some trying times, whether it be, trying times when they were at school, going through some hardships, whether it even be like a divorce or something like that. And they said they'd listen to our music, and it really brought some light into their life. And that, there's nothing like hearing that. That is one of the best things you can possibly do, is create a little bit of light in somebody's, life that has a lot of mayhem in it. And when they say something like that, I think that's the biggest compliment you can get.
I'd just like to say, as a fan over time for you guys, thank you for what you have done for music.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Folks, Autograph's new album is out October 6th. It's my birthday gift, because they told me.
That's right.
It's called Get Off Your Ass. And get out there and pick this up. Give this band a chance. If you haven't got to listen to them, I guarantee you'll like it. Steve, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, tour dates? How can they do that, my man?
Oh, they can go to autographband.com, and that's our official website. Or they can go look at our Facebook page, which is also Autograph Band. And they can join in, and they can get all the latest on all our tour dates and everything, and they can buy any kind of merch they want there and all that. So there's links to all that kind of stuff right there. Autographband.com and the Autograph Band website.
Now, what about you?
Facebook site.
Now, what about you teaching music and stuff? Do you do that online also? Can folks do that as well?
I'm not doing that right now because I haven't really got the time. What I'm doing is I'm teaching locally down here at a place called Music Matters on Monday and Tuesday, and it's like a music school, music store kind of place, and it's right close to where I live. So
okay.
I just decided to teach out of there a couple days a week when I'm off. When I do have a couple days a week when I'm not on tour. So, which we have been touring a lot. We just finished the video. Let's see, when that was Wednesday night, we finished the video. I flew back Thursday, and then I had to do a promo for a rock movie, kind of a rocky drama that's coming out, and so I did a promo for that last night, and so everything's just rolling really fast.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for the show?
I would love to. Absolutely. This is Steve Lynch of Autograph, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Rock on.
Everybody stick around. We got some great, great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. All hail Autograph. Thank you, man, so much.
Oh, thank you, John. Appreciate it.